ultimate end, you're able to understand what your role is. To remember that that is something that I've been objecting to time and again in your evidence in chief, that you are not here to analyze evidence, you are not here to draw inferences, you're not here to make decisions. The decision that ultimately needs to be taken is to be done by the court. Thank you. That at least you understand what your role is. Now you are saying, in terms of the evidence that you have, that you investigated, all pointers are showing, or pointers, not all, pointers are to the effect that the person who had a firearm on that day, the firearm guy was accused number 3. Is that what you're saying?
My Lord, I've always understood my role. Perhaps then it was misunderstood by Advocate MNISI. I always knew where's my role and how far can I go. But I also understood that our purpose, including Advocate MNISI and all the defense, we are here to assist the court to come to a just finding. And coming to the just finding, you do not withhold or try to keep things away from the court. The court is the one that will make a determination. That's my understanding. So there's no misunderstanding in that regard. But now coming to the question that I've been asked, my Lord, when I refer to the firearm, and I've dealt with this part, I'm referring to the firearm that was linked to the crime scene. In other words, the firearm that discharged the bullet that was found at the crime scene and alleged to be the one that have killed the deceased. And I've said that firearm is linked to accused number 3. I'm referring to those pointers, and that is based on the investigation. We dealt with Cleveland 96, we've dealt with statements of people who have said, we've dealt with Exhibit HH and JJ, my Lord.
And then you show me now, what is spam? This is spam, it's a section, so it's spam, this over to Chudanga, so see, come solo start.
Thank you. Let us now proceed. We shouldn't allow ourselves to be derailed from the point that we're dealing with now. We're dealing with the identity of the perpetrators who were in the house. And subsequent to that, Longwe Twala, as I've read into the record, Longwe Twala goes to the identification parade. Remember, what is important here is his observation of the person that he saw on that day. Whether that person is him or not, it's about the features that he saw on that day. Maybe he did not know that, but it's about the features. He goes to the identification parade. Remember, Longo says, the person who had a firearm was shot, he had dreadlocks, he was dark in complexion, and he had some visible jaws. He arrives at the identification parade. At the identification parade, he does not point out a white person or a person with a light skin complexion, a person who did not have dreadlocks. He points exactly the person who bears or who has similar features to the person that he saw on that day. Is that not what he did in this identification parade? If you've got an answer, you can answer. If you don't, simply say you were not there.
My Lord, you identified the wrong person. I don't know how far can I take this, because I've said it over and over again. The person that was identified was wrong. He was cleared by investigation. There was not even a firearm found in his possession. The firearm that was positively linked points to accused number 3. So I don't know how far can I take this identification by Mr. Twala.
Whether this was a wrong person or not, but the features are speaking. But in the main, longest identification of this person confirms what Makumalo also did. It basically confirms the description that Makumalo gave and what he himself, Lwango, gave. Both of them identified this person as a person with similar features with the person that they saw on that day.
iqinisekisa lobufakazi obalethwa uMakhumalo ngoba naye ukhuluma into eyodwa nalowo washo uLongwethwana.
So, Miss, I want to be fair to you.
Yes.
You keep using the aphorism, similar features. Similar features.
Yes.
It's two different persons, logically. And I don't want us to belabor this point. When you say Rata has got similar features with Mr. Muyeki, we're talking about two different features. You are saying not long. Let's start with Mrs. Kumalo, Senior. Mrs. Kumalo pointed out a person who is pointed out also by Longwe.
Yes.
And they have similar features. You get me, eh?
I need to understand.
You don't understand what I'm getting
I
at?
need to understand the court, my lord, because I don't just want to jump into answering the question.
Okay.
And when I say similar features, I am basing on their description, on how they describe this person.
Yeah, fine. Now you've heard me.
No, I did not. I could have heard the court, but I did not understand it, man.
When you say a person has got similar features, you're talking about two different physical entities.
Yes, ma'am.
Human beings.
Yes.
That's it.
It could have been a question of semantics.
It's not semantics.
What I meant to say is the person.
No, you must put it. Don't tell me. I'm just telling you, I want to be fair to your point. A person with similar features, like the person who entered the house of Makhumalo,
Yes.
and who happens to have been shot with dreadlocks, cheekbones, and he had a badge or...
Maybe let me rephrase the question. And this is what I intended to say, Brigadier. That the person who was described by Makhumalo and the person who was described by Longwe, that description is similar. The description of the person that they are describing is similar. Which is the reason why at the identification parade, they identified one person.
incazelo ukuthi lo muntu wayenjani njengoba echazwa uMakhumalo noLongwethwana bachaza into efana yikho bakhomba umuntu oyedwa.
Yes, my lord. That's why I said, my lord, I've answered this question. But that similarity also applies to accused 3 in terms of his height. He's also short.
hayi futhi naleyo incazelo iyasebenza ingasetshenziswa umsolo wesithathu ngoba nayo imfihlo.
That is how we were taught by the South African police services to describe a person and suspect that he is this person because he's short. That's very lame. It's very lame indeed. But let us proceed.
I suppose that sarcastic comment must be not allowed.
My lord, indeed, I viewed it as sarcastic and insulting because it was put to me about the description of the suspect and I'm expected to comment. So I do not know how does Advocate MNISI wants me to be selective and say certain things and not say certain things that must help this court to find the right decision, my lord. It is a fact that accused 3 is short. It's a fact, my lord. I'm not insulting or saying anything, and I was merely commenting on what he's putting to me. He's telling me Mrs. Kumalo and Longwethwana are describing this person who is short and dark in color with dreadlocks. And I'm saying, but in that description, part of that description fits accused 3. How could now that be lame and insulting and undermining, my lord? it's really uncalled for, and I'm pleading with Advocate MNISI, because we've been down this memory lane, that please, the fact that I may say things that he doesn't like does not mean we have to undermine or disrespect each other. Let's just keep the decorum of this court and deal with the business of the day. We will differ from time to time, but there's nothing personal. We are here to assist the court, and let's deal with those facts accordingly, my lord, not to disrespect each other or call each other names, because if I throw that name to him, it might not sit well with him, and I don't think we are here to do that. Can we just focus on the issues at hand and deal with them accordingly, my lord?
Young man, I'm going to proceed. I'm going to proceed. I'm just trying to sort out my papers here. Again, the state gave us a disclosure of a statement from Zandile Lorraine Kumalo. I think it was handed in as Exhibit P1 here at court. It was handed in as Exhibit P1. I can take it that because of the fact that it already was handed in as an exhibit, I bear no responsibility to authenticate it, because by virtue of the fact that it already got handed in as an exhibit, it is not in dispute that the statement was penned by Zandile. Nonetheless, this is where I'm at. Again, Zandile, in this statement, explains how the incident panned out. But as I'm saying, I'm at the description that she gives of the perpetrators in the house. That statement, it's 813. And Zandile is also in the list of state witnesses. She had already testified, in fact. Now, in paragraph 10, this is what she says in Exhibit P1. This is what she says. Let me just check if I can start it. Okay, I'm going to start it at paragraph 9, where she says, we all sat down and started making jokes. At that moment, it was around 20 hours in the evening, when suddenly two unknown African males walked inside the house from the kitchen door. One was in front. There's a bit of illegibility in the writing here. I'll try the best that I can to be smart in reading this paragraph. Let me start again. Paragraph 10. It reads thus. One was in front, having a gun on his hand. Let me wear my spectacles. Let me start again. It says, one was in front, paragraph 10, one was in front having a gun on his hand. He was average height, with dreadlocks, dark in complexion, thin in body, wearing a brown jacket or a beige in color. And he was having a small dots on his head. He had big eyes. He had big eyes, but I will be able to identify him if I see him again. Let me read it again because I think I was reading it in fits and starts. Now I'm going to flow. It says, one was in front having a gun in his hand. He was average height with dreadlocks, dark in complexion, thin in body, wearing a brown jacket of beige in color, and he had a small dots on his head. He had big eyes, but I'll be able to identify him if I see him again. Now, this comes from one of the witnesses who was in the house, who already had testified before committee. Here, Mrs. Andy Lekuman says, the person that I saw is having, or I can describe him in the following way. Short, he had dreadlocks. No. It doesn't say short. It says he had an average height. He had dreadlocks. He was dark in complexion and thin in body. Those are that is a description that Zandile gives when she is requested to describe the person that was having a firearm in his possession. Now, this is the third person who describes the perpetrator who got into the house as a dark person, as a person who had dreadlocks. Let me pause there for purposes of interpretation.
Manje lana uzandikhuluma luyamchaza lo muntu uthi wayemfishane engemude futhi wayesacile enama dreadlock futhi libala lakhe wayemnyama futhi enama dreadlock. Umuntu wesithathu lo uchaza lo muntu ukuthi wayenje.
Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are around the world. This is Zebra Family Channel. I'm here again to analyze the video of Advocate MNISI in court, where he picked a fight with Brigadier GININDA. You know, the fight that was picked in court, it was necessary because Advocate MNISI was trying to discipline Brigadier GININDA for doing the wrong thing purposely, because he wants to what he's doing to suit his narrative. But it was not a good thing what he did as he started talking about accused number 3. Because what was happening in court, Advocate MNISI was concentrating on the description of the intruders that came in the house, more especially concentrating on number 3, because he understood that GININDA was always using this narrative of that accused number 3 is the one who was having a gun and he's the one who owns the gun. But knowing very well that Brigadier GININDA did not want to listen to eyewitnesses or to work with eyewitnesses who told him that the gun that was used was a revolver, it had a wheel. But he decided to off-ramp from there and decided to go with what was in his mind so it can suit his narrative. It is dangerous because now instead of giving, GININDA, instead of him giving evidence as to how he did his investigation, he seemed to be defending his narrative that he's painting to the court to go with it so that they can write the judgment according to his narrative, which law doesn't work like that. Because wherever you go, when you go to the scene of crime, you make sure you get the people, neighbors, and the people who were in the scene of crime when that crime was committed to give you a picture as to what really happened. Then you go with that. You value, because it's impossible to find only one eyewitness. Most times there was a lot of eyewitnesses, especially in this case of Senzo Meyiwa. There were about 7 in that house. We understand that GININDA did not start the case to investigate. He got it after some time. But what he should have done, he should have gone to these people with his team, because he was given a team. He was not the only one appointed to investigate the case. He had a team. He should have assembled a team and go with the team and say, okay, guys, We are going to there and dismantle those people who are in the house. You're going to take a statement from Kelly. You, Mohale, you're going to take a statement from Kelly's mother. Whoever was there. When they finish with those, again, then they will go to their drawing board and start to compare the statement and analyze each and every statement to understand as to, are these people saying the same thing? Did they say, okay, fine, we can be in the same place, but there can be a little bit of discrepancies that we did not see the same thing. Sometimes, when you are in danger, you cannot look like you were just reading something. You're having a person who's holding a gun. If there was a person who came, or intruder who came there, like they are saying, you cannot face the gun. You will sometimes you look on the other side and one is looking at the gun. So you will not give the same. But when they go to their drawing board or in their boardroom or in their war room, it's where they start to analyze everything. It's not a single person that can analyze such a case, because this is a heavy case. Like Gininda, he seemed to be a person who wanted to work by himself. But it doesn't work like that. So what he did there is wrong. Because now, when he's been confronted with questions, instead of answering the questions, he's trying to defend so that he can push his narrative, because it looks like he did not investigate the case. He just collected people and just threw them in prison without investigation. Because why I say this, when we go to Ntanzi was said he had a gold tooth. When he was taken to the dentist to check if he ever had a gold tooth, nothing. But now things have changed again. It's number 3 who had a gold tooth. Things are keeping on switching. Okay, number 3, DNA, the swabs of DNA, they exclude all the 5 accused. They are not included. But to Gininda's mind, he feels like they include, because he wants everything to fit his narrative. Coming to the swabs, because there was swabs and there was a DNA for the head. All those DNA, there's nowhere it matches the people who are in the dock or the people in the box. So how do you continue with a case like this when everything that they have tried and it doesn't in any way bring these people close? Coming to Kelly communicating with accused number 5, Vodafone, the service provider, Pinky, came in court and testified that there was no communication between Kelly and accused number 5. But Stein is saying there was a communication, internet communication. Okay, the internet communication that he's talking about, he is saying it was a WhatsApp. WhatsApp in 2014, there was no WhatsApp. So everything has fallen apart. But why are we still having the case? Now, Gininda is holding on a polo. And even the polo that he's holding on, and Zungu's statement and Zungu's father's statement. So those things shows that there is a problem. But the problem, they are not trying to rectify it and make sure that they stop the case before they are in danger. Because the more Ntanzi and these other guys stay behind bars, they will end up suing, like Mbata is suing now the police for wrongfully arrest. He's suing 7 million plus the NPA is sued 2.5 million by the same guy. So those are kind of things that you find the taxpayers losing a lot of money. As we are taxpayers, we lose a lot of money because of the recklessness of the police, not doing a thorough investigation. So what do you think, family, about this? Just drop your comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bravo, bravo, bravo.